The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person. It is not against your circumstances. It is not against the economy, your past, your critics, or the obstacles standing in your way. The greatest battle happens in your mind. Every single day, before you speak a word, before you make a decision, before you take your first step toward your goals, there is already a conversation taking place inside your mind. That conversation has the power to determine whether you will move forward with confidence or remain trapped in fear. It can inspire you to rise above every challenge, or it can convince you to surrender before the battle has even begun. Many people believe their greatest limitations come from what surrounds them. But the truth is that the greatest limitations often come from what is happening within them. Long before failure becomes visible on the outside, it begins with defeat on the inside. Long before success becomes visible to the world, it begins with a decision in the mind. Every achievement that has ever changed history first existed as an invisible thought. Before a building stood tall against the sky, it existed in someone's imagination. Before an invention transformed lives, it began as an idea that no one else could see. Before a leader inspired millions, there was first a decision to believe in something greater than fear. Everything begins in the mind. Your mind is the command center of your life. It is where your beliefs are formed, where your attitudes are developed, where your choices are made, and where your future is shaped. Whatever controls your thinking eventually controls your life. That is why protecting your mind is one of the greatest responsibilities you will ever have. Too many people spend years trying to change their surroundings without ever changing their thinking. They move to different cities, change jobs, start new relationships, and chase new opportunities. Yet they carry the same mindset wherever they go. The scenery changes, but the results remain the same because the mind has not changed. You cannot expect a different life while holding on to the same limited thinking. A weak mind always finds a reason to quit. It says, "This is too difficult. It will never work. I am not talented enough. I do not have enough experience. I am too young. I am too old. I have already failed too many times." Every excuse sounds reasonable until you realize it has become the prison that keeps you from reaching your purpose. The mind is incredibly powerful because whatever it believes consistently, it eventually acts upon. Your thoughts become your words. Your words influence your actions. Your actions become habits. Your habits shape your character, and your character determines the direction of your life. This is why you must become aware of the thoughts you entertain every day. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves your agreement. Not every opinion deserves a place in your heart. If someone handed you a glass of water and told you it was poisoned, you would refuse to drink it. Yet many people consume poisonous thoughts every single day without questioning them. They repeatedly tell themselves they are not enough. They remind themselves of every mistake they have ever made. They replay every disappointment until it becomes part of their identity. Eventually they stop saying, "I made a mistake." Instead they begin saying, "I am a mistake." There is a tremendous difference between the two. Your failures are experiences. They are not your identity. Your disappointments are events. They are not your destiny. Your setbacks are temporary. They are not permanent conclusions about your future. One of the greatest victories you can experience is learning to separate your identity from your circumstances. Just because something happened to you does not mean it defines who you are. A storm may pass over your life, but that does not mean you become the storm. Failure may visit you, but failure does not own you. Disappointment may knock at your door, but you do not have to invite it to live in your mind forever. Strong people are not people who never experience fear. Strong people experience fear, yet they refuse to let fear become their leader. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move forward even when fear is whispering in your ear. Every champion has faced doubt. Every successful entrepreneur has questioned whether the dream would work. Every great leader has experienced moments of uncertainty. Every person who has achieved significance has had to win the battle in the mind before winning the battle in life. There is an invisible war taking place every day between possibility and limitation. One voice says, "You can." Another says, "You cannot." One says, "Take the opportunity." Another says, play it safe. One says, keep going. Another says, give up. The voice that grows stronger is the one you continually listen to. Your mind is like a garden. If you neglect it, weeds will grow naturally. Fear grows naturally. Negativity grows naturally. Excuses grow naturally. Bitterness grows naturally. But faith must be planted. Hope must be cultivated. Discipline must be developed. Wisdom must be pursued. Growth must be intentional. A beautiful garden does not happen by accident, and neither does a powerful mind. Every day you must intentionally remove negative thinking and replace it with thoughts that strengthen your character and expand your vision. The quality of your future depends greatly on the quality of your daily thinking. If you spend every day expecting failure, you will hesitate when opportunity arrives. If you spend every day believing that nothing good can happen, you will overlook the blessings already surrounding you. If you constantly compare yourself with others, you will never appreciate the unique gifts that have been placed inside you. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to weaken the mind. When you compare your beginning to someone else's success, you create unnecessary discouragement. You begin measuring your progress against people who are walking a completely different journey. Every person has a different assignment. Every person has a different season. Every person has a different pace. Do not allow someone else's success to make you forget your own potential. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, rather than trying to become someone else. Your purpose requires your originality, not someone else's identity. Another battle that takes place in the mind is the battle between comfort and growth. Comfort always promises safety. Growth always requires stretching. Comfort tells you to remain where everything feels familiar. Growth invites you into places where learning takes place. No athlete becomes stronger without resistance. No student becomes wiser without studying. No leader develops without responsibility. No dream becomes reality without effort. Growth always demands something from you. It demands patience when results are slow. It demands perseverance when progress is difficult. It demands discipline when motivation disappears. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not always the smartest people in the room. Often they are simply the people who refuse to stop growing. They understood that every challenge was developing something greater inside them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they asked, "What is this teaching me?" That single question changes everything. Problems can either make you bitter or make you better. The decision begins in your mind. Every challenge contains two possibilities. One is defeat. The other is development. The choice belongs to you. There will be days when everything seems to go wrong. Plans will fail. People may disappoint you. Unexpected problems will appear without warning. During those moments, your mind will determine your response. A weak mind immediately assumes the worst. A disciplined mind begins searching for solutions. A weak mind focuses on what has been lost. A strong mind focuses on what remains possible. A weak mind sees obstacles. A strong mind sees opportunities hidden within obstacles. Perspective changes everything. Two people can face the exact same challenge and experience completely different outcomes because they choose to think differently. One person quits, the other grows stronger. One person complains, the other adapts. One person blames everyone else. The other accepts responsibility and moves forward. The difference is rarely the situation itself. The difference is the mindset. Responsibility is one of the greatest signs of mental strength. Blaming others feels easier. Making excuses feels comfortable. Pointing fingers requires no effort. But taking responsibility gives you power, because it reminds you that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. That is real strength. The strongest person in the room is not always the loudest. The strongest person is often the one who has learned to master their own thoughts. Self-control is greater than emotional reaction. Wisdom is greater than impulse. Patience is greater than panic. The mind must be trained daily. Just as your body becomes weak without exercise, your mind becomes weak without discipline. Read books that expand your thinking. Spend time with people who challenge you to grow. Protect yourself from constant negativity. Be careful what you repeatedly watch, listen to, and believe, Because everything you consume is shaping the way you think. Every day your mind is being programmed by something. The only question is whether that programming is making you stronger or weaker. Successful people understand that the mind cannot remain empty. If you do not intentionally fill it with truth, wisdom, purpose, and hope, it will eventually become filled with fear, confusion, distraction, and doubt. Guard your thoughts carefully. Your thoughts are the seeds of your future. What you plant today will eventually produce tomorrow's harvest. Never underestimate the power of a single decision made in the mind. One decision to forgive can set you free. One decision to believe again can restore hope. One decision to keep going can completely change your future. History has been changed by people who first changed their thinking. Families have been transformed because one person refused to continue the cycle of negativity. Businesses have been built because someone believed in an idea that others ignored. Communities have been impacted because one individual refused to surrender to fear. Everything begins with a decision in the mind. If you want to change your future, begin by changing your thinking. Refuse to allow fear to become your advisor. Refuse to let doubt become your identity. Refuse to allow yesterday's failures to define tomorrow's possibilities. Train your mind to focus on purpose rather than problems. Train your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Train your mind to expect growth instead of defeat. Remember that every morning you have a choice. You can wake up expecting the worst, or you can wake up prepared to become better than you were yesterday. You can allow negative voices to control your decisions, or you can choose to believe that your future is still full of possibility. You can remain trapped by old thinking, or you can develop a renewed mind that sees life through the eyes of purpose, discipline, and hope. The battle will always exist. There will always be voices telling you that you are not enough. There will always be moments of uncertainty. There will always be obstacles demanding your attention. But none of those things have the authority to determine your destiny unless you first surrender your mind. Win the battle within, and you will discover strength you never knew you possessed. Master your thoughts, and your actions will begin to reflect confidence instead of fear. Develop your mind, and your life will begin to move in the direction of your purpose. Never forget this powerful truth. The greatest victories are never won first on a stage, in an office, in a business, or in front of a crowd. They are won quietly, internally, in the hidden place where no one else can see. They are won when you choose faith over fear, discipline over excuses, purpose over comfort, and hope over despair. The greatest battle happens in your mind, and when you win there, you position yourself to win everywhere else. Your mind is the most powerful asset you possess. Before your hands create anything, your mind imagines it. Before your feet walk toward a destination, your mind decides the direction. Before your words inspire people or discourage them, they are first formed in your thoughts. Everything you will ever become begins with what you consistently believe about yourself and the future that lies before you. Many people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances while ignoring the one thing that has the greatest influence over every circumstance, their mindset. They work harder, search for better opportunities, move to different places, and hope that something outside of them will transform their lives. Yet they often discover that although their surroundings have changed, their results remain the same. Why? Because wherever you go, your mind goes with you. If your thinking is filled with fear, you will carry fear into every opportunity. If your thinking is filled with doubt, you will carry doubt into every relationship. If your thinking is filled with excuses, you will carry excuses into every challenge. But if your thinking is filled with purpose, courage, discipline, and hope, you will bring those qualities into every area of your life. This is why your mind can either build your destiny or destroy it. Destiny is not something that suddenly appears one morning. It is not an accident. It is not merely a matter of luck or chance. Destiny is shaped day after day through the choices you make, and every choice begins with a thought. Every great accomplishment started as an invisible idea. Long before a company employed thousands of people, it existed in the imagination of one individual. Long before a bridge connected two cities, someone first believed it was possible. Long before a musician performed before thousands, there was a dream that no one else could hear. Long before a champion stood on the podium, there were countless moments when they had to decide whether to keep going or give up. Everything visible begins with something invisible. That invisible place is your mind. Your future is quietly being built by the thoughts you repeat every single day. Many people underestimate the power of repeated thinking. One negative thought may seem harmless. One doubtful moment may seem insignificant. One excuse may appear small, but repeated thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions become habits. Habits shape your character. Character influences your destiny. That is why you must never ignore what is happening in your mind. The greatest construction project in your life is not the house you build, the business you start, or the career you pursue. The greatest construction project is the mindset you develop. If the foundation is weak, everything built upon it becomes unstable. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper on soft sand. No matter how beautiful the design may be, it will eventually collapse, because the foundation cannot support the weight. Life works the same way. A weak mindset cannot sustain a great destiny. You may receive opportunities, but you will not believe you deserve them. You may possess incredible talent, but fear will keep it hidden. You may have amazing ideas, but doubt will prevent you from acting. Your greatest limitation is rarely your ability. Your greatest limitation is often your belief. Many people have more potential than they realize. They have gifts waiting to be discovered. They have ideas capable of changing lives. They have leadership qualities that could inspire generations. But because they constantly tell themselves they are not enough, they never step into the purpose that has been placed before them. Never allow your own thoughts to become the walls of your prison. There are people who have every resource imaginable, yet accomplish very little because they have convinced themselves that failure is inevitable. Then there are people who begin with almost nothing but possess a mindset that refuses to surrender. History repeatedly shows that determination often accomplishes what talent alone cannot. Knowledge is important. Education is valuable. Experience matters. But none of these can replace a disciplined and determined mind. Your mind determines how you interpret every experience. When disappointment comes, one person sees the end. Another person sees a lesson. When failure appears, one person sees proof that they should quit. Another person sees an opportunity to grow stronger. When criticism arrives, one person becomes discouraged. Another becomes wiser and more resilient. The event may be the same, but the interpretation is different. That interpretation shapes destiny. Your future is not decided only by what happens to you. It is largely determined by how you respond to what happens to you. The response always begins in your thinking. There will always be reasons to become discouraged. Life will not always be fair. People will misunderstand your intentions. Opportunities may be delayed. Dreams may require more patience than you expected. You may experience seasons when nothing seems to be working. During those moments, your greatest challenge will not be the situation itself. Your greatest challenge will be protecting your mind from believing that your story is over. Never allow a temporary season to convince you that your future has disappeared. Every season has a purpose. Winter prepares for spring. Night prepares for morning. Difficulty often prepares you for greater responsibility. The people who accomplish extraordinary things understand that today's struggle may be preparing them for tomorrow's assignment. Instead of allowing adversity to destroy their confidence, they allow adversity to strengthen their character. Character is built long before success becomes visible. The world often celebrates achievement while overlooking preparation. People admire the harvest without appreciating the years of planting. They applaud the victory without seeing the countless moments of discipline. But destiny is built long before anyone notices it. It is built in quiet decisions. It is built when no one is watching. It is built when you choose excellence over mediocrity. It is built when you remain faithful despite slow progress. It is built every time you refuse to surrender to negative thinking. Every day your mind receives countless messages. Some messages encourage you. Others discourage you. Some inspire hope. Others create fear. You cannot always control what enters your ears, but you can choose what remains in your heart. Do not allow every opinion to become your belief. People often speak from the limits of their own experience. Someone may tell you that your dream is impossible because they never had the courage to pursue theirs. Someone may criticize your vision simply because they cannot see what you see. Do not surrender your future to people who cannot imagine your potential. Listen to wisdom. Accept correction. Remain teachable. But never allow negativity to become the loudest voice in your life. Your destiny deserves better than that. One of the greatest enemies of purpose is comparison. Comparison quietly convinces people that they are behind. It causes them to measure their progress against someone else's journey. It steals gratitude. It destroys confidence. It creates unnecessary pressure. Remember that every meaningful journey has its own pace. A tree does not become a mountain. A river does not compete with the ocean. The sun does not compare itself to the stars. Each fulfills its own purpose. You were not created to imitate someone else's assignment. You were created to fulfill your own. When you spend your life comparing yourself to others, you stop developing the gifts that make you unique. Your destiny requires authenticity. It does not require imitation. The strongest builders understand that progress takes time. A great building is not completed in one day. Every brick matters. Every measurement matters. Every stage matters. Likewise, every disciplined thought matters. Every encouraging word you speak over yourself matters. Every decision to continue despite discouragement matters. Every act of perseverance is another brick being placed in the foundation of your future. Do not underestimate small victories. Reading one chapter today may not seem significant. Practicing one skill may appear ordinary. Saving a small amount of money may feel insignificant. Choosing kindness during frustration may seem unnoticed. But consistent small decisions eventually create extraordinary results. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic event. It usually grows through thousands of faithful decisions repeated over time. That is why discipline is more valuable than occasional inspiration. Motivation can inspire you to begin. Discipline enables you to continue. Anyone can become excited for a moment. Very few people remain committed during difficult seasons. Destiny belongs to those who remain faithful when excitement fades. Train your mind to remain focused even when emotions fluctuate. Feelings change, circumstances change, opinions change, but purpose remains steady. Your mind must become stronger than your emotions. If you allow your feelings to make every decision, your life will constantly move in different directions. Instead, let wisdom guide your choices. Let vision determine your priorities. Let purpose become your compass. Another danger is allowing yesterday's failures to define tomorrow's possibilities. Many people stop pursuing greatness because of one painful experience. They tried once and failed. They trusted someone and were disappointed. They invested effort and received rejection. Eventually they concluded that trying again was too risky. But failure is never meant to become your identity. Failure is information. Failure is education. Failure is preparation. Every successful person has experienced moments when nothing worked according to plan. The difference is that they refuse to make permanent decisions based on temporary disappointments. Never let one chapter convince you that the entire story has been written. Your future still contains unwritten pages. Protect them with positive thinking. Protect them with courage. Protect them with faith. Protect them with determination. Your words also reveal the condition of your mind. Listen carefully to the way you speak. Do you constantly declare defeat before the battle begins? Do you regularly predict failure? Do you continually criticize yourself? Words have power because they reinforce the beliefs already growing inside your mind. Speak words that build rather than destroy. Speak possibility instead of limitation. Speak hope instead of despair. Speak confidence instead of fear. Your words should become partners with your purpose rather than enemies of your destiny. You also become like the environment you repeatedly expose yourself to. Spend enough time around negativity and your thinking begins to shrink. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain and gratitude becomes difficult. Spend enough time around people who refuse to dream and your own vision becomes smaller. Choose your influences wisely. Spend time with people who encourage growth. Read books that challenge your thinking. Learn from individuals who demonstrate wisdom, humility, and discipline. Protect your mental environment as carefully as you protect your physical environment. Every day your mind is under construction. Every conversation places another brick. Every decision adds another layer. Every belief strengthens or weakens the structure. Ask yourself regularly, am I building the life I truly desire, or am I slowly tearing it down through negative thinking? That question has the power to transform your future. There is incredible strength in renewing your thinking. A renewed mind refuses to remain trapped by old limitations. It recognizes that yesterday's mistakes do not determine tomorrow's possibilities. It chooses growth over comfort. It chooses learning over pride. It chooses responsibility over excuses. It chooses perseverance over surrender. That mindset changes everything. Remember that your destiny is too valuable to hand over to fear. Fear always exaggerates problems while minimizing possibilities. Fear whispers that you will fail. Purpose reminds you that growth often begins where comfort ends. Fear says the journey is too long. Purpose says every step matters. Fear focuses on obstacles. Purpose focuses on opportunities. Which voice becomes stronger depends on which one you repeatedly believe. Every morning you have the opportunity to continue building your future. Every morning you decide what kind of thoughts will occupy your mind. You decide whether gratitude or complaint will shape your attitude. You decide whether courage or fear will guide your actions. You decide whether discipline or excuses will determine your habits. These decisions may appear small, but they quietly shape your destiny. Never underestimate the influence of one determined mind. One determined mind can transform a family. One determined mind can build a business. One determined mind can inspire a generation. One determined mind can overcome years of adversity and become an example for countless others. Everything begins within. If your mind remains strong, your future remains full of possibility. If your vision remains clear, temporary setbacks cannot permanently stop you. If your thinking remains disciplined, your actions will eventually produce results that reflect the quality of your mindset. Always remember this truth. Your circumstances do not have the final word. Your critics do not have the final word. Your disappointments do not have the final word. Even your past does not have the final word. The greatest influence over your future is the condition of your mind. Choose thoughts that build instead of destroy. Choose beliefs that strengthen instead of weaken. Choose hope instead of despair. Choose discipline instead of excuses. Choose purpose instead of comfort. Because every thought is laying another brick. Every decision is shaping another part of your future. Every act of perseverance is strengthening the foundation beneath your destiny. One day, people may admire the life you have built. They may celebrate your achievements and applaud your success. But what they will not always see is that the greatest work did not begin with your hands. It began with your mind. Your destiny was first built within, long before it became visible to the world. Never forget this powerful truth. Your mind can become the greatest architect of your future, designing a life filled with purpose, integrity, courage, and lasting impact. Or it can become the greatest obstacle, silently destroying dreams before they ever have the chance to become reality. The choice is made every single day through the thoughts you accept, the beliefs you embrace, and the mindset you refuse to surrender. Guard your mind, strengthen your thinking, protect your vision, live with purpose. For your mind can either build your destiny or destroy it, and the decision has always been in your hands.